Hey everybody, it's me, Mickey Giacomini, and this is Money Matters. I'm here, of course, with our fabulous, amazing money mentor, Marshall.
Hi, Mickey. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay, Marshall. So here's the scoop, Marshall. So the other day, I was online and I'm kind of embarrassed to talk about this.
Okay, let's hear it.
And I don't know why. I was on the AARP site. And
oh my gosh, really?
Yes, I was. And I was looking up some articles on Social Security. I was asking for a friend. I have no reason to be on that site whatsoever because,
yeah,
I'm decades and decades away from Social Security. And,
right, exactly.
It really, I did come across this really great article, and I'm going to bring it up for you all in just a moment. But it really got me thinking. And I hadn't been thinking about Social Security, quite frankly, because I've always heard that about the time I'd be able to collect it, it wouldn't be around anyway. So now I'm kind of like wondering, I mean, is Social Security at risk? I mean, what's the scoop with Social Security, Marshall?
Scoop, wow, what a big setup. So is it at risk? Well, there's some things to keep in mind. You could start taking Social Security at age 62, or you could defer and wait till you're 70 years old. But what's most important about that is a very high percentage of Americans, this is their only source of income in retirement, right? And so the numbers range from 25% of the population to 40% of the population, that this is their only way to actually retire and stop working because they don't have any other assets, right?
Wow.
No, nothing else saved, right?
Okay.
So gosh, there's been a lot of chaos in our country in the last 5 years, whatever, COVID, elections, all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Imagine if the government stepped up and said, hey guys, sorry, we're out of money. And you got 40% of the population with no income.
Right.
Okay. The government's not going to, that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Okay. Because you think about chaos, that would just be, you have people in retirement out on the street protesting. You do not want that.
Yeah, especially older people out on the street protesting. That's not a good look.
It's not a good look at all. So the point is, the government's going to do whatever's necessary to keep this thing going. Now, there's a couple, people talk about reducing benefits, right? What that means is they would reduce how much you receive. That's a possibility, right?
Wait,
reducing the benefit.
How, what, why? I mean, come on, the cost of living just keeps going up. I don't see it ever coming back down. How can you reduce the benefit and expect these people to be able to live on that benefit?
Right. No, it would be difficult. Yeah,
don't take me the wrong way. I'm grateful for the benefit, but it needs to be able to benefit, right?
Right, exactly. And in my simple mind, I've always thought there was a simple solution to this, right? You just raise the retirement age. So the full retirement age is 67, right? So just a little history. So Social Security started around 1940, right? Coming out of the Great Depression, the government put this together because, during the Depression, when people got old and things got difficult, there was no government assistance. It was move in with your family and they took care of you in your old age. That's the way the world worked prior to 1940, right?
Okay.
And so the government started Social Security in 1940, and you could get it at 65. Okay. What was life expectancy in 1940?
Probably 60.
65.
Okay, that makes sense.
So what that means is that half of the population, right? If the average is 65, that means half or never be above 65. So half the population would never receive it, right? So what's happened since 1940 is the retirement age is now 67. It's gone up by 2 years in what, 85 years. Okay. But what's happened to life expectancy? It went from 65 to what?
In my humble opinion, 120.
Yeah, exactly.
but it really has gone up quite a bit. I can't remember what I've read most recently, but it's in the 78, is it?
Yeah, 78 for the general population, but actually a couple in their 60s. Once you make it to 60, right, one of them are going to live to be 92. And so what's happened is, you know, medical science, all these things have increased our life expectancy, but the government did not raise the retirement age.
Okay,
right?
so I've been hearing about that.
Right.
I've been hearing about that. I've been hearing talks about, okay, well, let's raise the retirement age. It's like, oh, good Lord, how much longer can we be doing this? You know, of course, I'm a workaholic, so, you know, we all know I will be doing it till I'm 120. But
that's right. You're not going to retire. But some people, you know, certain jobs, and I was having this conversation, you know, if you're, you know, digging ditches or working outside, I can understand why you want to break from that. You know, some jobs are so physically demanding.
Right.
Right. That it is important to, you know, realize, you know, maybe do something less physically demanding. That's, I can understand that. But, you know, in my simple mind, the simple solution to the Social Security crisis is to raise the retirement age, but don't raise it for people the day they're going to retire. Raise it for people that are, you know, 10 years, 15 years younger, so that they have time to prepare for that.
Okay. That seems, yeah, that doesn't, otherwise it's like, okay, yay, I finally made it. And rug pulled out from under you the day before. Like, you know,
so I don't think, I mean, a lot of scaremongering, that's a big word.
Fear-mongering.
Fear-mongering and all that around this. But the reality is so many people are dependent on it. It would be chaos like we've never seen if they just, if they come out and said that they can't do that anymore. So anyway, that's one thing I wouldn't worry about. I would stay on track with that. But there are a lot of questions that people have around Social Security, like when to retire. Like you sent me that article that you read.
Yeah, I'm going to try and pull it up really quick and show everybody.
I read through it. There was some great stuff in there.
Yeah, so this is the article right here. Again, I was just looking for a friend.
And she looks much older than you. That lady there is much older. That lady,
oh my gosh, she looks so old and decrepit. She's like at least 100 years older than me.
Yep.
She's probably 10 years younger than me. But anyway, it was a really great article. It really was. And it really did get me to thinking, because you and I have talked about Social Security and how it's so important to, I know I'm scrolling this too fast. Sorry, everybody. Let me just put the link up, you know, so that you all can go get it.
Okay.
And here, where am I? Yeah, I think I've got it. Hold on, everybody. There. Right on the bottom. There you go. But you can go to AARP and then just put in the title of it. But yes, I mean, it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to think about. And you are always recommending that people go to the Social Security website and find out how much of a benefit they do have coming.
Yeah. Yeah, that was in the article. And I actually recommended that to people all the time, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was impressed. I was like, oh, Marshall always says that.
Yeah.
He does know his stuff.
And so what's cool about it is you go in there and you see that thing they used to send in the mail, and you can see what your earning is and what your expected retirement benefit is. And like I said earlier, you could start taking at 62, you could wait till 66, or the latest you can wait is 70 years old. And you know, one other fun fact to think about is everybody in the U.S., every U.S. citizen gets Social Security at age 70. So you think of the wealthiest people you know of, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, you know, any super wealthy guy over age 70, person, female, they're receiving Social Security, believe it or not.
That's amazing. But I feel like, and I could be way off base, but I feel like a lot of those people you're mentioning have probably set themselves up really well, so they don't care about that Social Security benefit.
That's right.
Just saying. So I'm feeling like maybe there's other people out there wondering, okay, I went to the website like Marshall says I should do, and I looked and it said, hey, you need to work until you're 120 years old.
Yeah. Right,
so what could people be doing? I mean, what should they be doing to help that benefit go farther?
Well, ideally, and they talked about it in the article, is you have Social Security, a pension, and savings, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's not many pensions around anymore. We run into them quite a bit. State of California employees, we work with a lot of employees that have CalPERS and teachers that have CalSTRS, and we run into these a lot in different places. But for most people, they don't have that. And then the third bucket is what you save. And so depending on your age and stage of life, you need to start, saving for that, because Social Security is not designed to make up 100%. Although a lot of people are living on it 100%. And so, the sooner you start looking at this, the better off you're going to be. The other important point is that, deciding when to save, when to take it at 62 or whenever, a lot of people do a lot of complicated calculations to figure that out. Fancy stuff like what's my return if I take it at 66 versus, 70, and, am I going to make more if I wait, and all this stuff. But there's one problem with all of that analysis. One big problem. You know what it is?
No, I do not, but I hope you're going to tell me.
There's one thing missing from that calculation. When are you going to pass away?
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. I knew it. Oh my gosh.
So that's a piece of information that's just not there. So you start looking at your health, and you start looking at your longevity, your family lineage, all that to try to estimate, but it's really hard to tell.
Hand on heart, as you were talking about, I was thinking, I wonder if there's a way to ask AI if they knows when my expiration date is, so I can take advantage of that.
That's a great question. Oh my gosh.
But then I don't really
for
want
your
to
vitals.
know.
What's your blood pressure, and what is how much do you weigh? And you'll be like, what?
I'm like, hey, no.
Get all offended at AI, get all ticked off.
I know.
But there's a lot of fancy things you can do. And so the other thing to keep in mind when you're deciding when to take Social Security, there's a lot to do with other investments you have. We've been talking a lot about people that don't have other investments, but everyone we work with have other investment options. That's why they're working with us.
Right.
And so it becomes a more complex discussion about when to take Social Security, depending on, do you have Roth accounts, right? Do you have tax deferred accounts? Do you have investment accounts? What other assets do you have? Do you own a business? Do you own real estate? All these other things that you need to calculate to figure out when to start taking this. The other big piece of this that people forget about is taxes. Taxes on Social Security. Now, I don't think, did they mention that in the article? I don't know if they mentioned that.
Now I'm trying to remember. I don't think that they did. But, even, I'll tell you what, I reside in California. My next move will be out of state. I don't care. I'm going on record. I do not care. I am letting the world know it. I don't care. Whatever. If you don't like it, oh well, whatever. But I'm telling you, I do have a little tiny pension because I'm a retired educator.
That's right.
It's taxed here in California. What little I get, it's taxed. Hello.
Right.
I mean, come on. This is why I'm going to be working till I'm 120, people. Probably because I want to, but still, that's besides the point. I want to know I can retire if I want to, but that's so sad. And so, Social Security, that gets taxed. Then, just think about that. It's cutting into it. It's ridiculous.
So there's a certain level of income where it doesn't get taxed. Okay.
Is that true? That's not true for pensions in California, I don't believe. I could be wrong.
I'm not sure about the pensions. That's a great question. We'll have to dive into that later.
Okay. But that's a different topic. Sure.
So it's 2025 when we're recording this. And so the current administration was talking about no tax on Social Security, which was getting really popular for people. That would have been huge, right?
Yes.
But what they ended up negotiating was raising the income level till it was taxed. So before this current tax, big, beautiful bill, right? if your income was over $25,000, it would get taxed. They raised it just recently to $44,000. If your income's over $44,000, it's taxed.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
I'm trying to hold myself down from jumping up on my soapbox, Marshall.
I know.
There's so many things that are so many things.
I know.
But it just is what it is.
So all these factors, when you're making a decision, it has to do with your health, right? It has to do with how much other assets you have. It has to do with if you're married or single. Right. It has to do with are you married to someone with high income and you were a stay-at-home mom, or however that worked. There's a lot of complexity in when to start drawing that. And so it's hard to do a podcast here and give one perfect answer.
Right. Oh, there's so many different scenarios, right? Absolutely. But you know what? I feel like what I've heard with you and your clients, I mean, they're coming from all different kinds of scenarios too.
Right.
And I feel like you're able to walk them through. And I really think that's a great thing. So quite frankly, if those of you out there who are watching right now, you're curious about your Social Security and what you need to do to be able to get by, you really should reach out to Marshall. He's a really great mentor on this. And I think that you always provide such great insight and advice and just help people to be able to really pave that road to retirement. So,
it unfortunately it's not as simple answer to that question, and there's a lot more to it, and we're happy to help people walk through that. So that's what we do.
You sent me this Social Security statement right here, and you were kind of talking about it before. So this is what you were talking about when people can go through their statement and
so that, as you recall, that used to be sent in the mail. You would get it at your address, and a lot of people don't receive it anymore because they've moved and Social Security doesn't necessarily have the address. But you can go to ssa.gov, Social Security Administration, and log in to see that. And so what's useful about that is, I've met with several people recently that were part of a pension system that were not paying into Social Security. And so they were curious about whether they would get Social Security, and their assumption was they would not. And so one quick example was I was meeting with a teacher. And so she was just turned 50, so she's got some time, but thinking about retirement. And I said, well, are you qualified for Social Security? And she said, well, I'm not paying for it right now. And so I said, well, go to ssa.gov. And so you need to pay into Social Security for 10 years, right? 40 quarters, 40 times 40 quarters, right? 10 years to be eligible for the benefit. So she went and logged into ssa.gov, and she had 36 quarters. She was 4 quarters short of her Social Security. And so what her plan is, between now at age 50 and age 62 or whenever, she's going to pick up some odd jobs to get those one more year of contribution into Social Security. The benefit on that for her, once she does that, is $2,500 a month for the rest of her life.
That's fantastic. So see, it pays to go to ssa.gov and check it out.
That's
because you very well might be able to take advantage of that benefit then. So,
and also talk to me, because there may be other things I can help you with. Right. So you think about, the benefit of that, $2,500. And I think she didn't pay me that much, and now she's getting $2,500 a month. I mean, what happened with that?
Fantastic. Right? Exactly. I mean, I think that's great.
Yeah. Anyway, you got my joke.
I got your joke.
Yeah, the value of advice. It's called the value of advice.
It's so true. And Marshall and I, a lot of times we bicker and we don't get along, and we can be silly at times. But the truth of the matter is, I really do respect how much you mentor people about money, and you really do help a lot. So on a serious note, which doesn't happen very often, I really do highly recommend that people reach out to you because you really know your stuff. So
well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome. Thank you. But I want to also thank all of you who are watching, and please feel free to go to our website today. This is the website address, and make sure you add that contact or just go to contact. That's fine. Drop us a line and we can get you set up for a free consultation with Marshall today. So, well, maybe not today, but like you can go there today and we'll get you set up. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. This has been Money
Mickie.
Matters with Marshall.
Thank you. All right.
You're welcome. Bye.